Thanks for joining me. This is our last week of talking about the science of getting rich. We're going to be covering, of course, the summary of the science of getting rich. So my hope, my desire for you is that you will go back and listen to those previous programs and get the tools that you need to experience that more abundant life. These principles were based on the fundamental principles of faith. And those principles, if practiced by anyone, will certainly, in fact, get rich. Failure is impossible. But if you have to investigate, look back at your writers such as Edison, your Marconis, those who promulgated the thought of the science of becoming rich. There is a monolithic point of view that all things are one, and that all come from one. And this is also the belief that we hold. We believe that there's one divine source we call God, and from that source all things flow. So there is nothing that has been in fact created that has not been created from this divine source of all knowing. And if you look at the text of the Hindu, if you look at the Muslims, if you look at many of the world religions, what you find is that there's ultimately a divine source that they all believe in. That's one of the foundations that they share. But those who would find themselves digging deeper, they should look at reading books such as Hegel or Emerson for their self in order to understand the roots of these philosophies that you're learning. In putting together this dialogue, this workshop, this period of instructions, our goal was simplicity or plainness of speech and style in order that you may get a in-depth understanding of the theories herein, and so that you would take an active knowledge and begin to live out the principles herein. And if you wish to understand or come to a conclusion that in fact these laws in fact do work, then if you wish to reap the fruits herein, then we suggest that you practice what you've discovered in these previous lessons and begin to make them a part of your lifestyle so that you can reap the benefits of the teachings. So now, as we're stepping into the summary, there is in fact a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces a thing that is imagined by that thought. A man or woman can form a thing in his thought, her thought, by impressing their thoughts upon this formless substance, and they can cause the thing that they think about to be created. We've nailed this home time and time again, Creator, that what it is that you give your attention to, whether it be wisdom, wellness, or wealth, or lack, loss, and limitations, that's what you're going to begin to manifest. Let me share with you. I know that some of you are not an advocate of playing the lottery, but I've actually done some investigation and research myself in the lottery. And so I began to practice some principles in the lottery to see if I could manifest the number that I desired. And a couple years ago, what I began to do is I began to play a series of numbers. First, I began to just play randomly, and I would get what they call quick picks, and I would let the computer pick the number for me. And I did not have much success with the quick picks. So then I thought about it for a moment, and I looked at some of the people who had won. And some of them said what they did was they would pick numbers that were important to them. And then what they would do is begin to visualize themselves winning the lottery with their number that they had chosen. So after a period of time, I began this practice. And what I did was pick a series of numbers that had relevance for myself. I created a picture board of these numbers, and I began to see these numbers as becoming, as it were, the winning numbers. And on 2 occasions, when I failed to play the numbers that I had on my list, I had, on these 2 occasions, saw my numbers come up exactly. And at that point, 2 times, I could have actually been what they call the Mega Million winner. Now, what am I saying? I failed to continue on in the practice of what I knew. I had lost faith in the process. But the truth of the matter is, Creator, you always create what's being manifested in your life. Now, some of us don't want that kind of responsibility, but whether you're an active participator in the law of attraction or a passive participator in the law of attraction, be it unto you according to your faith. You're always manifesting after your thoughts. So if your thoughts are continuously on the negative, rest assured that what you're going to manifest in your life is the result of those negative thoughts. If in fact you begin to, little by little, change the manifestation of your thoughts at your core level and begin to believe, it's not just enough that you think a thought, but you have to believe with sincerity that the thing that you're thinking about is in fact being manifested. And as you begin to see yourself as the manifestation that the divine sees within you, see, the divine intelligence, God, sees only the best in each one of us. And our shortcomings, or what we call sin, is living below the standard of what divine intelligence sees for us. Jesus is one of the few people that understood, so much so that he said that in a time that when it was very unpopular, he saw divine intelligence as his father. And the religious leaders of that time were so frustrated, so angry with Jesus professing to be the Son of God that they tried to kill him. And eventually they succeeded. What is my point? Jesus understood his connection with divine intelligence. And in his life, he produced more miracles than anyone living who ever lived. And he said to us this, that greater works will you do if you also believe in the process, or as I believe. So if we begin to believe that divine intelligence is our Father, that we are connected with divine intelligence that we know as God, and that we are one with this divine intelligence, we will begin to manifest a life accordingly. We will manifest a life according to knowledge. We will begin to manifest the things that we desire. And you will not manifest those things that will be harmful to you, because of course divine intelligence will only seek out those things that are towards your best interest. So understand that I can do all things through the divine spirit which resides in me, that Christ spirit. That word Christ means anointing. So when I say the Christ spirit, we're speaking of that spirit of anointing that was also in the person of Jesus Christ. That same spirit resides in you who believe and take on by faith as that of a little child, the divine spirit resides within you. And as you begin to acknowledge divine spirit, he will begin to show you the path in which you need to take. And so when divine spirit tells you to make reconciliation to that loved one of yours, or to address a coworker in love, when you're prompted to do a thing to help someone out, and you don't even know why you're helping the person out, but just because you know within your spirit this is the thing to do, divine spirit will have the opportunity to tell you that next thing that you should do. And as we continue to obey the voice of divine spirit, God, what we will see is more and more revelation will be given to us. So we've talked a lot about manifesting the life that you desire. And now what I'm discussing with you, creators, is the connection that makes this possible. What we are instruments or conduits for divine spirit. And divine spirit is looking for vehicles of travel to relay his love, her love, into the world. And such are we. So our question should be to divine spirit, how do you want to use me today that will bring you the most glory and significance in the world? How can I be that instrument of glory to you? And as we begin to seek that relationship of being the eyes, the mouth, the ears, the hands, the feet of divine spirit, we will begin to see a world unknown by most. But in order to do this, one must pass from the competitive plane to the creative. Otherwise, it's impossible to be in harmony with the formless intelligence, which always creates and never competes. It's the lower level of man that finds himself, herself, competing. Whereas with divine intelligence, we find ourselves as the creators that we are. But in order for an individual to come into full harmony with formless substance by entertaining a lively and sincere gratitude for the blessings bestowed upon that individual. Gratitude unifies the mind of men with intelligent substance. We always find that Jesus said, I thank you, Father, that you hear me. And you always hear me. Jesus was always in a constant state of gratitude when it came to his relationship with the Father. I don't know what it is that you're going through, but understand this, that divine intelligence is working out that situation to the good on your behalf. And what you need to begin doing is thanking in gratitude divine spirit for what he's manifesting in your life. And understand this, though you're judging according to the five senses, understand that the story is not complete. It's not done. Don't judge according to appearance, but judge righteously. You say, well, DeCarlo, how do I do that? You judge according to what divine intelligence has spoken to you, the vision that he's placed in your heart, the thing that you desire that lines up with his spirit. Begin to see your outcome as such, not as it presently appears to be. Man's thoughts are received by the formless intelligence, and man can remain upon that creative plane by only uniting himself with God through deep and continual feelings of gratitude. You must form a clear and definite mental image of the things you wish to have, do, and become. You must hold this mental image in your thoughts while being deeply grateful to the supreme intelligence of the universe, and understand that the thing that you desire is desiring to be with you. That mere desire is divine intelligence seeking a vessel to manifest that desire in. And you are that vessel. The person who wishes to become rich must spend their leisure hours in contemplating the vision of wealth, wisdom, and wellness. In a spirit of earnest thanksgiving, too much stress cannot be laid upon the importance of the contemplation of that mental image. And if it takes that you have a picture board or something in order to see that thing that you're seeking about manifesting, then create it so that you can always have that picture in front of you. But it's that unwavering faith and devoted gratitude that will bring about the manifestation of the thing that you desire. This is the process by which the impression is given to formless and the creative force is set into motion. The creative energy works through an established channel in natural growth, in industrial as well as social order. All that is included in this mental image will surely be brought to the individual who follows the instructions given above, and whose faith does not waver. What he wants will in fact come through the way of his established trade and commerce. Now, what do I mean by that? The thing that you desire to manifest will come to you by the instruments of the vehicles that you use in your everyday environment. You will get an ideal, and you will begin moving forward on that ideal to benefit someone else. And they will pay you for the services that you're offering. And from that, you will begin to manifest the thing that you desire in the earth. The creative energies working through the established channels will bring about the manifestation of the thing that you desire. In order to receive this, when it comes to you, you must be active and be in the process of doing the things that you know to do. Not only doing those things, but doing those things to the utmost of your ability. Keep in mind the purpose to get rich through the realization of this mental image will not fail you. But you must have that clear mental picture in order to bring about the thing that you desire. Unfortunately, most of us, our mental image is of the things that we do not desire. And we say, well, I told you that that situation was not going to change. Creators, it is an impossibility for that thing to change if you're holding the image of its opposite. Because even when the change manifests itself, you will not see the ram in the bush because, of course, you will be looking away from the thing that you're desiring. So you must have an expectancy that the thing that you desire is in fact being manifested, even though you do not see the results. You must do everything, every day, all that can be done, and do each thing in a successful manner. You must give every person in use value the excessive in cash value. So someone pays you for a service, say for example the workshop that I spoke of earlier, the Ultimate Extreme Life Makeover, we're only charging $25 for a full day workshop. This is a steal. But what we realize is that if we offer a service far below the value and that anyone can come, we realize that we open up the door for more service in the future. Our goal is to offer a prime workshop that's well done and that we have quality speakers speaking in this workshop. And then what we know is that the word will get out that we offer such a workshop, and people will be willing to bring back their friends, loved ones, or even strangers because they know the benefit that they're going to take from the workshop. So do whatever you do to the best of your ability, and it will in fact reproduce itself because of course you will expand beyond your present level of thought. So give to every person in use value in excess of the cash value he receives, so that each transaction makes for more life, and that individual must so hold the advancing thought that the impression of increase will be communicated to all who come in contact with that individual. So when you're giving a workshop, when you're providing a service, see that service as an extension of your individual love being expressed to that individual. And as they receive that expression of love, you will speak spirit to spirit. And in doing so, you will communicate to that individual that you seek their best interests. And in doing so, they will recommend your services to others who seek to have such an experience. The individuals who practice the foregoing instructions will certainly get rich. And the riches they will receive will be an exact proportion of the definiteness of their vision and the fixity of their purpose and the steadiness of their faith and the depths of their gratitude. They will experience the things that they desire because they are individuals of creation. They no longer seek to compete in a world that's lost its place because of competition, but they seek to create and bring about the good for all parties involved. We often call that a win-win situation. My desire for you creators is that you live a full life. And if you practice the tools that have been given to you in the science of becoming rich, you will experience that full life. Jesus says this way, that the individual that plants a seed, he will not only reap that seed, but he will reap some 10-fold, 20, 30, some 100-fold, and sometimes even greater. There's a wealth of knowledge and abundance out there for you. We have this vehicle called the internet, and because of this vehicle, we have the ability to touch untold billions in a way that we have never had before. We have a ability to create new vehicles to reach out and touch people by just sitting at our computer. We've not had this technology before, but in having this technology, we have within our grasp the ability to make multiple millions, literally billions of dollars as an individual when we offer quality products that change lives and make a difference. So my suggestion to you creators out there is find out what it is that you have to offer and start by giving it away. And as you give that service away, the word's going to get out that you offer a quality product, and people are going to begin to seek you out to pay for the services that you offer, to live your greatness. Your greatness is within you, and it's up to you to begin to do what you need to do to bring about the life that only you can live.